There is one thing a woman will never, and I mean never, share with a man unless she is completely, hopelessly, irreversibly in love with him. And no, it is not her phone password. It is something so intimate, so raw, that most men do not even recognize it when it happens. In fact, a 2023 study from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that 78% of men completely miss the moment a woman emotionally committed to them. 78%. That means right now there might be a woman in your life who has already handed you the keys to her heart, and you are standing there fumbling around looking for the lock. Stay with me on this one because what I am about to tell you could change everything, and that last sign, the one I will reveal at the very end, that is the one that separates a woman who likes you from a woman who would go to war for you. Here is something most people will not tell you. Women do not fall in love the way men think they do. Men often believe love starts with some dramatic confession, some movie moment where she runs through the rain and says those three magic words. That is adorable and completely wrong. The truth is, when a woman falls in love, she does not announce it. She leaks it. She shares it in tiny, almost invisible ways that most men walk right past without a second thought. And here is why this matters more than you realize. If you miss these moments, if you fail to recognize what she is actually giving you, she will eventually stop giving it. Not because she stopped loving you, but because she decided you were not paying attention. And a woman who feels unseen will quietly close the door so gently you will not even hear it shut. You will just wake up one day and wonder what happened. So, right now, I am going to walk you through the exact things a woman shares only when she is genuinely, deeply, 100% in love. Some of these will surprise you. Some of them will make you rethink every relationship you have ever been in. And one of them, the final one, is going to hit you so hard you might need to pause this video and text someone. But before I get to that, let me start with the one that catches most men completely off guard: her childhood wounds. And I do not mean the cute story about her first bicycle or the time she won a spelling bee. I mean the real stuff, the messy stuff, the story about her parents fighting every night, the time she felt abandoned, the reason she flinches when someone raises their voice. When she starts sharing that, pay very close attention because she is not making small talk. She is handing you a piece of her soul wrapped in a sentence. She has probably rehearsed it 100 times in her head before saying it out loud. Emotional vulnerability is one of the clearest signs of deep attachment. A woman does not show you her wounds unless she trusts you enough to not make them worse. She has probably been burned before. She has probably shared something personal with the wrong person and watched them use it against her. So if she is opening up about the parts of her story she usually keeps locked away, she is not being dramatic. She is being brave. And she is being brave because she loves you enough to risk it. Now, what most men do wrong here is try to fix it. They hear her pain and immediately go into solution mode. Have you tried therapy? That was a long time ago, though, right? Stop. She does not need a mechanic. She needs a witness. She needs someone to sit with her in it, not rush her out of it. But that is only the beginning, because the next thing she shares is one that makes even the most confident women feel completely exposed: her insecurities about her body. We live in a world where women are constantly performing confidence, social media filters, perfect angles, the whole production. So when a woman turns to you without makeup, in sweatpants, under terrible lighting, and says something like, "I hate my arms," or "I do not feel pretty right now," that is not fishing for compliments. That is trust. Nearly every woman you have ever met is fighting some private battle in her head about the way she looks, and she is choosing to let you see behind the curtain. She is showing you the version of herself she hides from the world. When a woman shares her physical insecurities with you, she is essentially saying, "I trust you to still look at me the same way after I show you what I am most afraid of." That is not a small thing. That is everything. And if your response is anything less than genuine reassurance, she will remember it permanently. Women remember exactly how a man responds the first time they show vulnerability. Do not end up in the wrong drawer. Now, here is where things get really interesting because the next thing she shares, most men do not even recognize as a sign of love: her silence. Yes, sometimes the most powerful thing a woman shares with you is nothing at all. There is a concept in psychology called comfortable silence. Most people become anxious when conversations go quiet. But when a woman can sit next to you in complete silence, no phone, no distractions, no pressure to fill the air with words, and still feel completely at peace, that is one of the purest forms of emotional intimacy that exists. Women are often conditioned to keep conversations flowing and make everyone around them comfortable. So when she stops performing that role around you and simply exists in your presence without anxiety, she is telling you something enormous without saying a word. She feels safe. She feels home. Most men are so busy worrying about awkward silence that they miss the fact that her silence is not awkward at all. It is sacred. She is not bored. She is settled. And that only happens with someone she loves. Now let us talk about something you may have noticed but never fully understood: her future with you in it. When a woman casually says things like, "We should go there next summer," or "You would love my cousin's wedding in October, stop and pay attention." She just placed you inside her future. And women do not do that accidentally. When a woman is unsure about a man, her language stays careful and non-committal. But when she loves you, the language changes. Suddenly it becomes we, us, and our. She stopped being a solo traveler in her own life. She bought you a ticket. Now the next one requires the deepest level of trust of all: her past relationship pain. When a woman tells you about betrayal, heartbreak, manipulation, or the nights she cried herself to sleep because of someone who hurt her, she is not doing it to complain or make you jealous. She is doing it because she is terrified it could happen again. And she is giving you the roadmap of her pain so you do not repeat the same mistakes. This is one of the bravest things a woman can do. And your response matters more than you think. The worst thing you can say is, "Well, I'm not your ex." Technically true, emotionally useless. What she needs is for you to acknowledge the weight of what she shared and show through your actions that you understand why it matters. Now, let me give you one that might make you laugh, but do not underestimate it because it is sneakily one of the biggest signs of all: her embarrassing habits and guilty pleasures. When a woman tells you she watches terrible reality TV on repeat, talks to her cat in a baby voice, or eats cereal for dinner standing over the sink at 11 at night, she is not being random. She is showing you the unfiltered version of herself. Women spend so much of life managing how they appear to the world. So when she lets you see the version that sings off key in the shower and has passionate opinions about potato chip flavors, that is love. That is her saying, "Here is the real me, and I trust you not to make me feel stupid for it." And then there is something even more serious: her financial reality. Money is one of the last true taboos in relationships. People will talk about trauma, therapy, even past relationships before they talk honestly about debt, bank accounts, or financial stress. So when a woman tells you the truth about her finances, whether she is struggling or doing extremely well, she is giving you a level of honesty that goes far beyond emotional vulnerability. She is showing you the practical, behind-the-scenes reality of her life. And she would not do that unless she saw you as a long-term partner, not just a temporary guest. But now we come to the most powerful sign of all, the one that changes everything: her fear of losing you. When a woman looks at you and says something like, "Sometimes I'm scared this is too good to be true," or "I'm afraid you're going to leave," that is it. That is a woman in love. Women are often taught to appear independent, unbothered, emotionally untouchable. So when she breaks through all of that conditioning and admits she is afraid of losing you, she has just done the emotional equivalent of jumping out of a plane and trusting you to catch her. The fear of losing someone is not weakness. It is attachment. It is emotional bonding. So when she admits that fear to you, she is not being clingy. She is being honest about how deeply she feels. And how you respond in that moment will determine whether the relationship grows stronger or whether she starts quietly protecting herself again. If you dismiss it, she will build walls. If you meet it with reassurance, consistency, and care, she will love you in ways you did not even know were possible. So let me bring this all together. A woman who shares her childhood wounds, her body insecurities, her comfortable silence, her future plans that include you, her past heartbreak, her weird habits, her financial truth, and her fear of losing you is not casually interested. That is a woman who has chosen you deliberately and completely, despite every reason the world has given her to keep her. And the fact that you watched this entire video tells me something about you too. It tells me you actually want to understand her, and honestly, that already puts you ahead of most people. Every single sign I mentioned today is a form of communication. She is constantly telling you how she feels, not always with words, but through trust, vulnerability, and the things she chooses to reveal. The question is not whether she is communicating. The question is whether you are listening. And if this video helped you realize something you were missing, send it to someone who needs to hear it. A friend, a brother, someone who is completely blind to the fact that the woman in front of him is already in love with him. That one share could save a relationship before it is too late. And before you go, remember this. Knowing she loves you is only half the equation. The other half is recognizing when she wants to take things deeper emotionally and physically. Most men completely miss those signals too. And when that gap between what she is offering and what you are understanding grows too wide, it slowly becomes a wall. And walls are much harder to tear down than they are to build.